Ever since I posted the setup video for the Creality box, the most common question I've received was about it being worth or not spending the money on it. So I'm going to be showing what I've been finding in this week or so that I'm using and my overall impressions. First, let's talk about price. I've paid less than £7 here in the UK with shipping included. And it did came very fast in a matter of a couple of days. I received that in my house. So I think you're gonna get these for around 10 US dollars. I think as of today, there is a promotion in Creality website where you can get the same price in credit for the website, so it kind of gets for the box for free. And I kind of see why they're doing that because honestly, it's not very useful. This is a spoiler for the rest of the video. You're gonna see that in a minute. So my main expectation out of this product was that I could control the printer remotely through a Wi-Fi connection. The main reason being I want to set up my printer in the garage, and just to avoid me going down there all the time to check on it and change temperature or stop printing or pause it. I just wanted to be able to control that through a phone or a remote PC. So I wasn't too bothered with the fact that it wasn't integrated to any type of camera. I could use my own IP camera system just to monitor the prints. But what I wanted to do with that was to be able to, power off the whole printer if I am out of the house, for example, or I am in the middle of the night and I don't need to go down to the garage. So I wanted to be able to pretty much keep an eye on it and control it somehow. I know Octoprint can roughly do everything that I'm saying, and if you couple that with a Wi-Fi power plug type of smart plug, you can do pretty much everything that I'm saying. But for like a fourth of the price, I would say, yeah, let's give it a go and see how it works. And because there is not many information online, I didn't really knew what to expect from the box, so I literally bought it blind, and I didn't even know what the box was able to do. Um, I do think there is going to be some improvement, but today is just not practical. You will see the main or the only interface that we have with the box is the app, and it's really basics and it doesn't work very well. So at the moment, I wasn't able to send any of my existing models or anything that I created or my G code to the printer. All I could do is to get some designs from the cloud and send it out to the printer. I've also managed to control basic things like the bed temperature and the nozzle temperature and the fan. And that's pretty much it. That's all you can do. Even the knob in the printer won't work if your printer printing through the box. So a bit of a shame, not very useful, but let's go through the details of the app and you take your own conclusions. So in the first page here, this is some sort of a feed similar to Facebook where people just comment and put their thoughts in there. Not very useful. You're better off sticking to Facebook if you need any help. This is not very popular. Second tab here, you can see all your devices. I have only one there. Messages, which is something like if you failed prints or you finished, and your section here where you're gonna be um, getting your files and slices and login, so pretty much your account settings. In my opinion, there is still a lot to be improved in this app, and the concerning bit is this is the only interface that you have with the box. So you cannot do much if the app doesn't work right, and I've been struggling for a couple of days to send files over to the cloud. I haven't managed to send anything yet, and I'm going to be showing you the process. So I don't know if this is a firewall or this is something that UK is blocking because the server is in China or anything like that. So if you are in UK and you manage to send your models to the Creality cloud, let me know in the comments, please. As you can see, the app is really laggy. It's not very precise. You need to press the button several times so you can get the action that you want. But let's go through the whole thing. So in the upper section here on the feed, you will see that area where you can see all the models. So if you click there in models, you will find everything that is already in the cloud. So someone has already sent or uploaded the files into the Creality cloud. You will find all the sorts of stuff. So some sort of a thingiverse in Creality cloud. If you select one of the existing models, you can slice it, you can open it into the app, and as I showed in my first video, this slicer is very basic. So if you want to do something like a figure, for example, I'll show you in a second, it isn't very useful. So I'm gonna just open here the file, and this is a big file. I think it's gonna take a while, so just bear with me, please. So as I was saying, it is very buggy. It didn't load the file, so I'm gonna pick a smaller one here, 1.2 megabytes, as you can see, the sea turtle. You notice on the comments, everyone is just typing whatever there because you need to stick to minimum 60 characters. So once you open the file, this is all you can do. Just rotate the file so you can have a quick look. You can zoom in, of course, and play around with it a little bit, but nothing very complicated. One thing that I don't know if it doesn't support in the iPhone or anything is that I cannot drag the model, and you will see that is very critical or very difficult to work in the slicer. So once you open the slicing environment, you pretty much have the same thing, but as you can see, once you try to zoom in, it's always zoom into the middle of that volume, not to the areas that you want. So you would technically, what you would do, you would grab it and try to rotate it a little bit, but it's very difficult to work with the model there. So where you would need to maybe adding complicated supports or do anything that requires a little bit more detail, it's definitely not going to work. It's so uh, limited, and for me it's not practical. You're better off sticking to Cura or Simplify 3D and just make it as usual. And that's the second point that makes me very upset about this. It doesn't support any type of G code. All it supports is STL files. So there is no way you could slice it and do a better job in another platform and just use the box to send it over to the printer. So again, not very useful, and this is why I'm not using this as much as I thought I would. So here at the bottom, you set up your printer. Second option is the transform. Very simple as well. You just need to, uh, type the number. So if I pick for rotation in this example, put which axis, and if you want to flip it 90 degrees, this is what you do. So yeah, very basic. Yeah, flip in the other axis. Nothing fancy, just the usual transform that you had in any other slicing software. And of course, you will also have um, the transform options to scale that and reset it to the bed. Yeah, scale. It's in percentage, so yeah, you can use the uniform and locking the scales or not if you don't want to do any type of uniform scaling. And again, you see, it's very difficult to focus in the base or in the part of the model, so it's not very convenient to work. The filament here, I didn't really find a use for this. It's just PLA or ABS, but it doesn't change anything. The quality controls the layer height and the width. So for the height, you don't really have a way to select it. You only have these three options: 0.10, 0.2, sorry, 0.15 and 0.2. And the width, yeah, you can type the number that you wanted, but not very useful for controlling layer height. For me, for example, I'm used to print highly detailed models at 0.08, and I don't have that option here in this slicer. Next, the shell. You have the option to hide the Z-seam, but it doesn't allow you to control anything like you would have in Cura. Wall thickness and top and bottom thickness, pretty standard. Infill, you can pick between a very comprehensive list of options here, as you would have in most of the slicers. So I'll pick Geroid here because it's one of the nicest to watch. And density infill, yeah, again, you cannot control anything like changing infill density by height or anything, but just the standard. This is where you change your temperature, so your nozzle temperature and your bed temperature. And again, I don't see why you would have that PLA or material tab earlier. Print speed, you can adjust the overall speed and the initial layer only, and the travel, nothing fancy. You cannot adjust it by height of the print. This is the support, so you just enable or disable it. You don't have any advanced option, just this infill and the overhang, as you can see. So you just need to trust it will do a good job because you cannot even see that very well in the app. As you can see here, there's nothing. So just trust it will work. I'll make a test print and show you later how that ended up being. Adhesion, yeah, also just allows you to pick uh, what the adhesion will be, but doesn't show you what you're going to be doing. Then you hit slice, and in a few seconds it goes to your slicing area. I'm not sure if you can pick other people's slice. Probably you can, because you can see there's a copy button there. And once you click in that file, all you're gonna have are, what is your estimated print time and all the details that you set up, and a button to send it to the printer. I didn't find a way to see what the lines or anything would be looking like, and that's very annoying because you don't know what the printer is going to do until you print. And if you go to your area again, the file will be there under my slices. So this is the area where I'm a little bit stuck. I didn't manage to completely send a file to the cloud, but I think this is the way that you should be doing. I just have constantly failed uploads when I try to send it. So here is a couple of tips that I found in how would you transfer a file into your phone. So the first step is you need to have the files saved in your phone. So I'm using an iPhone here and I do have Mac. So the way that I'm transferring it is through the AirDrop, and you're gonna see the pop-up here. I have a few options where I would like to save it, and this is where you need to be careful. If you pick the Creality Cloud from the beginning, it doesn't save your file there, or at least I couldn't find that in the folder for the Creality Cloud. So to have that sent to the cloud environment, you need to have that saved in your phone or in your files in case of the iPhones. I'm pretty sure there is similar way to do that using Android phones, like in Google Drive or something like that. And you probably can do the same thing if you download something from Thingiverse. I actually did try downloading straight from the phone from Thingiverse and saving that to files. It works in the same way. You could also probably send it to yourself in email and just download the attachment. So there are a few options, but what you need to be careful is that you need to save it to your phone or to your files in this case. I'm just going to show what happens. So if you click in the Creality Cloud, it just opens the file as a 3D model, but it doesn't save into the app. So it's just a way to see what model you're loading. And again, the app is really annoying when you need to cancel actions. So I'm sending it from my Mac again via AirDrop and saving to files. And you can pick whichever folder. You can have access to that later. So there's a folder there called Creality Cloud. I'm just going to save there to keep things organized. And that's it. So as you can see, I've also tried to put a G code in there. I have a couple of STLs and a G code, but I cannot access that file from the app, so it's pretty much useless. You cannot send G codes, only STLs. Once you save the file in your phone, all you got to do is to press the add button, and it brings you to this screen where you're going to be inputting the details of your model, name, description, and this is the annoying bit. So you see that introduction there. You can only move forward if you have more than 60 characters, and then you just hit the uh, upload button. And this is exactly where I got stuck. It gets uploading for a few seconds and it fails. I did have a couple of updates in the app in this time frame. They've released a couple of different updates in the App Store, but the results are the same. So again, I don't know if this is a firewall issue or a server problem, but I've never managed to send any models to the cloud. Looks like once you do that, you have the option to share that with others or just keep it private so you don't share any type of models with anyone else. Couple of things that I've learned as well in the me section here at the bottom. Um, if you pick the printer here at the top, you can, and you click in the edit, apart from editing dimensions and shapes and stuff like that. So this is usually what you have when you set up your printer, nozzle size and what type of G code you usually um, familiar with, although you cannot change that option apparently, so it's just supporting Marling. See, the interesting bit is that if you're into changing the G code itself, there is a start and ending section here. So if you remember my first video when I did the print, I said yes, that's funny because the bed's not been presenting the print. You can edit here in the end of the G code, and as you can see, as you finish, it puts the bed into the position 000. So I'm gonna edit that, and hopefully in my next print using this file, I'm gonna have the bed fully advanced, presenting the results instead of retracting it to the back of the printer. So I'm just gonna change that to Y 200 or 220 actually. And hopefully the next prints will be doing what I'm used to for the finishing. So that's it. Again, if you ask me, is it worth? I would say I'd rather spend the £7 in a couple of pints and drink this money, because it it is not very useful for my intentions at least. So I'm gonna send the sliced turtle to the printer. So go to the Me tab, My Slices. The file's gonna be there, and you just need to hit print. Make sure the device is connected to the printer and the printer is also powered on, otherwise you won't be able to um, do anything. Clicking the device. Please make sure the slice matches the printer model, otherwise printing may fail. Do you want to start printing? So, usual warning. And now it will load this screen in the app, so every time you need to check the status, you just go to your devices and click there. This is the only way you're gonna be monitoring the printer. The screen in the printer doesn't change at all, so if you want to see anything, this is the only way to check what's the status. As you can see, the bed's heating up as per the temperature that we set in the slicer. I'm gonna start raising the nozzle here just to speed things up a little bit. I'm gonna put 205, and if you remember, we sliced that with 200, so let's see if it will pick this one. It didn't, so it's starting to heat up, but it's using the actual G-code temperature instead of the one that I've put here. Try to play with the fan, but I don't think it's gonna change it. The fan is actually turned off right now. Okay, things are warming up. Let's wait a few more minutes and see how it will start. It is a little bit annoying that the screen in the printer doesn't change, so you cannot track the progress. And here in the app, there is nothing you can do. See, even if you could see the support or anything, but there's nothing you can do actually. You would just be able to see the time and the remaining time. So yeah, every time you select a device, you will see that screen. I'm gonna change the temperature a little bit now, because I know this filament likes it a little bit warmer, so I'll put it 205 again here, just because I didn't change filament from my last printer, so I'm sticking to this one. And that time it picked up the command printer start homing and doing the purge line. Turning on the lights here so we can see a little bit better. There you go. See, there is a big stringing coming from the purge line to the skirt, as you can see. we couldn't enable any type of retraction, if you remember, on the slide, so that's a thing to be improved. Seems to be printing the support on the head now. And it's funny because it's not adhering to the bed very well, so I wonder if the bed isn't level properly in the center, or the flow, it seems to be flowing very poorly. Now it's picking up. Again, we couldn't adjust anything regarding to the flow in the slicer, so that might be a standard flow. I usually don't correct my flow, I flow at 100%, but I don't know what the G-code is doing. For me, it definitely looks like an under extrusion. I don't think the bed isn't leveled because I've just finished printing this plate here. As you can see, pretty smooth. The center was nice, so I think the bed is very well leveled. But yeah, I know my bed is a little bit concave in the middle, but I'm used to be printing all the time there, so I think it's down to the flow settings in the slicer. It's definitely under extruding. A little bit of closer look here, and you definitely see signs of under extrusion. I'm not gonna stop the print unless it starts getting pulled away from the bed, so let's see how it completes. I'm interested to see how the supports are gonna look like. It's starting to peel a little bit there in the back end of the turtle, the fin there, but I'll wait until it starts building up, so hopefully it won't unstick from the bed. Let's see how it turns on. So one of the things I was trying is to check on the iPhone notification settings if there was any configuration for the app, but the app doesn't show in the list, and the print has finished in about 30 minutes ago, and I didn't get any notifications. Even if you open the app, the only thing you will notice is these small dot in the messages, or if you open the device, you got a pop-up, printing is completed. You can view it in my print list. That's annoying. What's the whole point? You should get a warning in your on your mobile when you complete it. And the print did finish okay. It didn't fail. Of course, the back fin there might be a little bit warped, as you can see. And we do see the supports in the sides of the shell as well, and the head. I was expecting it to be supported in the head. It doesn't look too bad. Supports are a little bit interesting. I wasn't expecting it to be in the sides, below the shell as well, but as you can see, there are supports there. And the bottom is rubbish, as I was showing at the beginning. Signs of really hard under extrusion, but print is complete. A little bit more detail how the print came out. Again, the top isn't too bad. It isn't bad at all, actually. The details are all there for the height that we picked, and the bottom is again a little bit disastered, but it completed it. Got the layer shift there in one of the fins, as I highlighted at the beginning. The supports came out fairly easy, so I don't think there's going to be a lot post-processing needing, but as you can see, it's also not so smooth in the supported areas. Right, so because I wanted to validate if the G-code changing was working or not, I've sent out another print, and when I was trying to monitor it through the app, as you can see, the usual screen showing the status isn't showing up. and this is another annoying bug. So sometimes the app doesn't seem to work very well. So yeah, you do the same thing all over again, and if you select the print here, you can see at the bottom that it's printing. It's been printing for 15 minutes, but there is no way you could see that again. And this is annoying. As I said, the app isn't very practical, and this is one more reason why I'm not going to be using this as much as I thought I would. So take your own conclusions and see if it's going to be worth spending the money, in your opinion. Print is completed, as you can see, but the G-code change doesn't seem to be working. The bed is still retracted to the 0.00. If you open the app again, check the messages, that's the only notification you're gonna get. Yeah, one more time. It's not very useful. I think there's gonna be room for a lot of improvement. Hopefully, it gets improved. The impression that I have is that the app has been launched without much testing. The print that I've sent is this bearing here, so a little bit of the precision test with the slicer. Again, under extrusion in the bottom here. You can see also that in the top. Let's see if I can crack that to roll. Okay, I cracked that off camera. It spins, so I guess precision wise that's okay. Thank you for watching. See you next time.